You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 130. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnhart, Circulation Supervisor at Riverdale Library.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can find our show, plus many other cool podcasts like the all-new Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, and Super Podcasto Magnifico at rhymeswithgeek.com. And if you enjoyed this show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher.
Okay.
So,
this is a great episode today, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We got some good Superman and other fun surprises.
Indeed.
Yes. So let's just get right down to it. The first book we're going to talk about today is Superman number 366, and the lead story is called Revenge Superman Style, written by Cary Bates, penciled by Curt Swan, and inked by Frank Chiaramonte. And this is a surprise about the Superman Revenge Squad.
Yeah. And it's a good story. I want to see what happens next, because it's interesting. And the plot is cool, and what else do you want? So you got Superman.
Yay!
Alright, Clark has taken a week off. Now he needs another week off from work. And Perry White is concerned, and Supergirl's concerned because she knows what he's up to.
And Lois is too, because she loves Clark now, right?
I'm not sure she's so...
I don't even know anymore.
Okay, yeah, it's confusing. Alright. Superman is sick and tired of the Superman Revenge Squad attacking him. So he's going to attack them first, which is odd for Superman to be proactive. Yeah.
And you would think that a superhero would not mount an attack against a group unless it was to defend someone. But I guess this is pretty forward-thinking Superman. For those of you who don't know, what? The Superman Revenge Squad are various aliens who have been thwarted by Superman and have then band together as an organization to crush him as a unit, but it never seems to work out for them. With hilarious results. No.
Right. Supergirl says, and to pray to Ra, succeed and survive and succeed. Is that a Kryptonese god? Or?
Yeah, you never seen Superman say "Great Row" or whatever.
Occasionally, but it's kind of a '70s thing, I think. When he starts doing that.
I think maybe I can't remember actually when Row became a thing they used, but at any rate, yes, that's a Kryptonese god. Mm-hmm. Kryptonian.
Yeah, and we find out that Supergirl,
Linda Danvers,
yes, is a soap opera star.
I already knew that.
Oh, I did not know.
Oh.
And, it's
So it's interesting that she has a closer role with Superman, because what company broadcasts that soap that she's on? But GBS.
Yeah. What a coinkydink.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So Morgan Edge and Perry White are concerned about Clark taking another week off, but Perry says, well, if it's Clark, he's trustworthy in that. When something's bad, if something's that bad the way Clark sounded in the phone call, then something really is bad. So
right.
Okay. Hey, they learned how to draw the space shuttle. Okay. And Clark is Superman is going off into his mission, but he stops by and saves his shuttle from blowing up.
Yeah.
Not too bad. He uses his super breath to cool down the spaceship when it's re-entering.
Uh-huh. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Well, Superman makes a spaceship of his own, and it's pretty nifty.
Yeah. And it's orange.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. He sends a holographic
a recording of himself, yeah. To Lois.
Yeah.
Explaining the great peril that he's going to be in, but won't tell her what it is.
Why not?
Because maybe the Revenge Squad is listening in.
Maybe so.
Or could be.
Yeah.
So
he takes his ship out, and then he starts pushing, and then he starts punching it, and he says, what's up with this? Then he changes himself into another creature.
Yeah, he uses some weird device to turn himself into this reptilian being.
Mm-hmm.
And then the idea is to infiltrate the Revenge Squad with this story that, oh, he's just been defeated by Superman and now he wants revenge.
Right. They're about to put him into a crematorium.
The Revenge Squad.
Yeah. Some kind of vaporizing thing. Would it vaporize Superman?
In this lizard form, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. His lizard guy wakes up and he says, I am Flatu from Plyrox. And he starts talking to people and he tells a story that Superman beat up his ship while he was trying to chase down this freighter.
Mm-hmm.
So we look at a little bit about the Superman Revenge Squad planet. And they have all these Supermans everywhere because I always love it. They always, an old Earth saying, out of sight, out of mind.
Right. And so they keep images of Superman around to like keep their hatred for him going. Mm-hmm. And they have like a ritual where they melt like a Superman statue, and
they have a Superman robot
that randomly attacks members of the Revenge Squad and to test them in combat.
Yeah, I guess they don't have pollution on Superman Revenge planet, so because they have no troubles with it.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone believes that he is Superman. No, they believe the reptile story.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So,
yeah, it's a cliffhanger, so we don't get the next part, but it's an interesting concept, mm-hmm. and I like the idea that Superman is plotting to destroy himself, but you know it's a ruse, but
mm-hmm.
but it's very interesting.
Yeah, I like his lizard form.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
It's pretty nice. It's well done. I actually love to see what happens next, but I guess we don't.
No. But we do have a backup story, and this, I don't know how to feel about this. It's a new backup series they were trying called Superman, The In-Between Years, about between him being Superboy and coming to Metropolis, which, first of all, I didn't think those years existed. I thought Mom and Pa Kent died, then he goes to Metropolis as Superman.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
Although, that's an interesting idea, though.
Yeah.
It may have been in just a few months or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if he directly went there or...
Or it's like Superboy in college. But this story is called, what is it?
Perry White's Superboy Scoop.
That's right. Written by Bob Rozakis, who, if you remember, you ever look in the back of old DC comics, Bob Rozakis was the answer man, who would answer a lot of questions in the Direct Currents column or whatever. Anyway, but he distinguished himself as a comic book writer. But also, let's see, art by penciled by Kurt Schaffenberger and inked by Frank Chiaramonte. So,
it's interesting. Well, what's going on is Superboy is not showing himself,
mm-hmm.
but he's going to all kinds of different cities and performing super feats. So people think he's there. Some of it, and they admit this in stories. Some of it is just a coinkydink or something. And but Perry White thinks that he was saved by Superboy, and he has a bullet to prove it. But next we see Clark and Lana, and who is the other guy?
Some jerk.
Yeah,
he doesn't matter.
But they're going. She's going to Metropolis U. And let's see, they're going to go to a baseball game. And let's see, Lana still wants to go with Superboy. Oh, and she says to him, "Thanks, Clark. You're so sweet and so reliable." Ooh.
Friend zone.
Yeah.
Friend zone till the end zone.
Right.
Ooh. Let's make that a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's going on is there's two gangs in Metropolis, or one's trying to take over. So they're going to meet and...
Mobster gangs, let's make that clear.
Right.
not the Crips and the Bloods.
No. And Perry White is there out in the open taking pictures of it. Like, oh, you don't think they would notice somebody in the stands? But
you would think.
So they're about to shoot each other. Then Superboy comes in, takes all the bullets, knocks out the bad guys, and Perry calls Superboy and says, "Hey, I see you." And so Superboy takes Perry to his editor. Perry is just a reporter now, not the editor.
Right.
So they have a big scoop, and that's about it. I'm not sure.
I have some things about to keep going. I have some things, details about this. It's a Daily Planet, but the editor is George. Keep talking. I gotta look it up.
Okay.
I'm trying.
That's a different editor.
George Taylor. Now, in the golden age of comics, that's interesting. Lois and Clark didn't work at the Daily Planet. They worked at the Daily Star. And guess who their editor was?
That guy.
George Taylor. That's where I was going. I was really hoping you would fill the time with
sorry.
talking while I was looking for that.
I was all, discombobulated.
Yeah. So, the next book that we've got to talk about, this is pretty important. I think it's definitely a benchmark comic book story, and it's probably one of the best comic book stories of the 80s. It's Superman Annual number 11. The story, of course, is For the Man Who Has Everything, written by Alan Moore with art by Dave Gibbons. And this is the team who later that year would do Watchmen, which is obviously left its mark on comic book history. Well, let's talk about this.
Yeah. The prologue is we see Kal-El come home to a surprise party. And I guess Krypton exists, and he's got a nice family. And then we come to the present, and Wonder Woman meets Batman and Robin, who is Jason Todd.
Yeah, this is Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Because Dick is leading the Teen Titans at this point. This is 1985, I think.
Yeah. And Jason Todd was killed by...
the Joker.
Wrong. He was killed by the fans.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But that's like 1988 or 7 or something like that.
3 years later. But it's kind of... I wasn't irritated by him, but I don't know.
I think it was pre-Crisis, Jason Todd was pretty good. And then post-Crisis, they made him a little whinier and like more annoying. And he was disobedient to Batman. And then... I hope I'm remembering this correctly. And then they decided to kill him off.
Right.
So... But at any rate, it's Superman's birthday, and Batman and Robin and Wonder Woman have arrived at the Fortress of Solitude to bring him birthday gifts. Isn't that nice?
Right. Robin is freezing, and it's just, and Wonder Woman says, "Hey, y'all two are freezing. Let's get in." And then Robin says, "Before us two freeze, dressed like that." She's in her regular.
Yeah. And Batman says, "Think clean thoughts, chum." And then you get a cut to like Batman turned away from Robin, kind of look at the little smirk, definitely checking out Wonder Woman's ass, which is great.
Yeah. Oh, who can blame him?
Yeah.
Oh, I have never seen the key to the
Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude hanging up. It's usually outside.
It is. And that should be a giveaway that something is amiss. I mean, clearly there is a place for it, but usually, it's hanging out outside. But maybe it means if it's hanging up inside, that means Superman is home.
Right.
You know,
and expecting guests or whatever.
Right. Since he's the only person that could even lift it, generally.
Yeah.
But so the door is ajar.
Yeah.
And they come into the fortress.
It's his birthday.
Yeah.
As it was in the prologue.
Yeah.
Batman gives him a orchid called, let's see, what is it? The Krypton. You don't know what Wonder Woman's got him yet.
Yeah.
But then he come in, and Superman has this flower on him.
Embedded in his chest and wrapped around him with all these tentacles, and he's definitely like in a trance, and he's standing. And so they're like, well, huh?
Indeed. Wow. It's sort of... So they try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And they say, well, he looks like he's in a world of his own. Then we go back to Krypton. It's after the party. Jor-El didn't show up for the party because Jor-El has become an embittered man because Krypton didn't blow up.
Yeah.
So he was kicked out of the Science
Council.
And he's become...
He's kind of a crackpot now.
Right. And there's some kind of like it's not Nazi, but
it's kind of a KKK kind of organization that's on the rise, and Jor-El is associated with them, unfortunately.
And a real creepy dude. Okay, Kal-El visits Jor-El, and this real creepy dude from that organization comes in, and just
yeah.
It's kind of, well, they're having problems. Krypton is going through the 60s, I guess. And
yeah,
lots of crime and other things. I guess I don't know. They have hippies, but it's kind of hippie place anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Things are pretty dark on what we would normally think of this bright shining globe that was snuffed out too soon.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But, okay, so we get back to Fortress Solitude, and we go back and forth all the time.
Yeah. Which is great. We get these little interludes. I like this cut. These cuts are very cinematic.
And they're connected, too.
Yeah.
The thoughts in Superman's head relate to what's going on around him.
Yeah.
In reality.
Yes. So
it's well done.
So while...
This is beautifully written.
Yes. Alan Moore's a true master of the medium. But so while Batman and Wonder Woman are trying to figure out how to get this thing off of Superman and wondering what it is, Mongul reveals himself. Now, Mongul was the major addition to Superman's rogues gallery of the late 70s and early 80s. He's really terrific. And this is a guy that could go toe-to-toe with Superman as a real physical threat. And he's a tyrant. He rules this world, war world, and he's just all kinds of wicked. Yeah. And so he tells them what it is and what he's...
A black mercy, which he went to a lot of trouble to find, the plant.
Yeah.
And it gives you your heart's desire, but you can't move. And you're stuck there.
Yeah. I mean, you'll eventually waste away, I would imagine. So
I guess. Yeah. Yeah. It feeds off bio aura.
Yeah. That's what it feeds off of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You got a picture of Mongul
and he's huge.
To Batman. He is bending down like you would a 5-year-old talking to Batman.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. And he's still...
extremely imposing and big.
When he's bent down, he's still taller than Batman. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so...
he says... this is kind of cool. He says, which of you would be polite to kill first? And Wonder Woman goes up there and starts fighting.
Yeah.
And she doesn't do much damage.
No.
Alright. Back to Krypton. Oh. Okay. So, what's going on here? There, one of Kal-El's kids is in the hospital.
Right.
Because they're attacked by people who are against Kal-El's father, Jor-El.
Right. And there's a movement also that I think Kara Zor-El is involved in. That's Supergirl. Okay. She's involved in a movement to free the Phantom Zone criminals because they think it's barbaric that they're putting in there. Now, okay. Remember that the Phantom Zone criminals are generally the worst scum. You know, I think one of the people on the posters is not Namek and not Zod, but here, give it to me.
Okay.
Keep talking.
I still don't think that. I wish we had our own Phantom Zone because I'd rather go to the Phantom Zone than San Quentin.
Well, maybe. I mean, yeah. Oh, Jaxer, that's right. He's one of the worst. I mean, they're all terrible, but he's one of the worst villains in the Phantom Zone, and they want to release Jaxer. You know?
Yeah.
So that's like, give us Barabbas.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't always keep track of all the guys in the Phantom Zone. There are a bunch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think they're happy here. Well, it's kind of, they look, we have a march of Jor-El's gang. They look like Inquisition people.
Yeah, they're somewhere between Knights Templar and, of course, KKK robed.
It looks like
fellas.
it's like a cross or a sword.
Of course, the KKK, I think, are kind of patterned after the Knights Templar.
Yeah, maybe so. I'd never thought of it. But,
Yeah.
I'll have to ask the Kleagle next time I see him.
Oh, okay.
But
Jeez.
no.
So,
All right, so
Back
Wonder
on-
Woman gets her butt kicked. So
Yeah.
we're back into the.
in the Fortress of Solitude.
Mhm.
But she makes her way into Superman's armory.
I think she planned for him to throw her through the wall into the armory.
Right, and it's weapons Superman's confiscated from people. It's not like Superman has all these weapons for
Mm-hmm.
his own stuff, because you never see him use weapons, hardly.
Yeah, she blasts him, and it didn't work. And so, Robin and Batman are working on Superman, trying to fix him.
Yeah, they're not even bothering trying to fight Mongol, because he knows that he will just kill them.
Right. I don't think there's anything. I don't think Mongol will be interested in the batarangs and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, there's not much they can really do to help Wonder Woman unless, they grab some weapons from an armory to use against him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Because we wouldn't get our story.
Exactly.
So back on Krypton, Jor-El's given some fascist speech.
Yeah. So Jor-El says, "Well, we'll drive onto the country." Kal-El, excuse me.
And he takes his son. Van.
Mm-hmm. And he goes out and he says, "I don't think you really exist. I think this is all fake."
Yeah.
And he wakes up.
Yeah.
Yay! So
Because
Batman-
Batman manages to get
and
the
Batman really messes up because
he gets the Black Mercy off of Superman, but it attaches itself to Batman.
Jason Todd is, "Hey, you may want to get these gauntlets." And says, "Oh, if I get the gauntlets, I think it's coming."
Yeah,
Yep.
because Mongol had these gauntlets that he used to handle the Black Mercy, and they're huge because they're Mongol-sized hands.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's what they're saying. So Batman had just been yanking on the thing and pulls it off,
Yeah,
and it attaches to Batman.
and Batman dreams that his parents lived.
Yeah. Then Superman, because he's woken up, he gets super pissed. He's like, "What did you do to me?" You know.
Who did this to me? And then the Mongol. Oh, what a great panel that is.
Because Robin says, a big yellow guy, and he's in the other room hurting Wonder Woman. And Superman's like, "Mongol." And then yells, with super yelling, "Mongol!" It's a huge panel. The words Mongol fill up the whole background of the panel. Robin is covering his ears. Superman's careless, to his hearing,
Yeah.
because he's just super pissed. And you never see Superman this angry.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rare treat to see Superman get mad, and this is awesome. The fight that ensues is great. Robin uses the Mongol's gauntlets, by the way, to remove the Black Mercy from Batman, and then is trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But back to the fight.
Yeah, huge fight. Mongols, he's coming, so I better turn around. And he's too late. Wham!
Yeah.
But Mongol beats up Superman too, and there's a huge fight. Cool.
There's one thing I gotta mention here. This is one of the greatest moments. It's like Mongol thinks he's beaten Superman. He says, "Happy birthday, Kryptonian. I give you oblivion." And Superman's eyes just turn bright red. He looks super mad, and he just says, "Burn," and gets him with the heat vision, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And it hurts him. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Jason Todd's got to go upstairs because that's where they're fighting. So he puts the Black Mercy into a bag, and then he uses his batarang rope and all that, and climbs up, and they come down, which is hilarious.
That is great.
Oh man.
Yeah, but see, Mongol's like, "Why are you even mad? You should be happy. The gift I gave you." because he thought that the Black Mercy really did give him like a happy, tranquil thing, and realized it was like a really this dark, like sad version of Krypton.
Yeah, which is odd. And it's because the Superman is really good that he cannot. Maybe the Black Mercy only works on people who are kind of mean and nasty or something.
Or maybe what it gives you is it gives you the elements of, like, a marriage and children. How nice, but the surroundings were bad. Krypton was falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
maybe
so
that's
much.
What would have happened?
You could dissect this a bunch, but it's just like, isn't it better that Krypton was destroyed during a golden age rather than live on to have such a dark downfall?
Maybe so.
I mean, maybe that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's kind of interesting, which is why this is art. Art raises questions.
Yeah.
And not just questions of continuity or something.
Right. But when we can have something about what is the writer trying to say to us in this story, and get really meta about it, I think this is when we're able to do really good shows.
Mm-hmm.
And this is great.
Yeah. So.
But I like in the movie Man of Steel, when he's fighting Zod, Superman said Krypton had its chance.
Yeah.
Krypton is over, and he's not going to let Zod, in that case, recreate Krypton in his own image on Earth and slaughter all these people that he cares about.
Right.
We
have amidst the fighting, we see a framing of Jor-El and what's his
Lara. Yeah, there's a statue of them in the fortress. I think it gets destroyed during this fight.
I'm not sure.
Or I can't remember. Oh no.
No.
Oh, and I think Robin or Batman dropped the Black Mercy right on Mongul.
Robin does, yeah.
And good job, Robin. Mongul's fantasy in the Black Mercy is really creepy. He basically conquers the universe.
Yep.
And has Superman's head on a pike.
Right.
And
you don't see his head,
but it's mentioned if you're in the reading.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we don't see the head. That would be just kind of
too much.
Well, it wouldn't pass muster for the code.
Right.
So. But yeah.
So. Well, Mongul's happy.
Yeah. And it's back to the birthday party for Superman with all his friends. The flower that Batman brought got crushed.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman, she brought a facsimile of the Bottle City of Kandor, which has been enlarged at this point, pre-crisis. So
yeah. But Superman already had one made.
He already made one. So I love it how he just like, oh, this is perfect. Thank you. It's what I needed. He puts his other one in a cupboard.
Yeah. At super speed.
But see, that's a thing you would do if somebody gifted you something that you already got for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. That's so classic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, do they talk a little bit about the Black Mercy?
Well, no, they talk about the orchid being crushed and says maybe it's for the best.
Yeah. Then we get more of a glimpse into Mongul's dark fantasy. Here we have like some of the most powerful beings in the universe kneeling before him. Brainiac kissing his hand.
I didn't know who that was.
And the Martian Manhunter and Adam Strange. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
But it's may have been the best comic we read on the show.
It's quite possible. We've read some great stuff, but that one is just above and beyond a lot of things.
Normally we read good comics of good characters, but this goes beyond. It's really thought-provoking, well done. I don't like the drawing. It's not a bad drawing style. It's not my favorite. There's some of it's wonderful, and some of it, I don't know.
I like Dave Gibbons. I don't think. I don't know if action is necessarily his strongest suit, but he's very good at facial expressions and figures.
Mm-hmm. I thought the action was fine. So, I'm not sure.
I just think of Watchmen. I think of Watchmen. And I'm like, well, it's not exactly an action-packed book. There's action, there's fighting in it, but it's really a character study.
Mm-hmm.
So is this. That's why I think he works so well with Alan Moore.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Dave Gibbons.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a terrific book. If anybody hasn't read it, they ought to.
Indeed.
Maybe one of these days we should do a special. We should talk about Batman: The Killing Joke and Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think those are two really landmark.
Okay, Killing Joke is. I get my Batmans mixed up. Is that where Jason Todd gets killed, or is that where?
No.
That's where Batgirl gets shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've read that, but yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and Whatever Happened to Man of Tomorrow is wonderful.
It is. It is.
Well, but Alan Moore is kind of a crazy old coot, but
yeah.
he has written some great stuff.
Yeah, and people talk about great comic writers of the 1980s. People usually mention Alan Moore and Frank Miller in the same breath. I think Alan Moore's great because he's still writing good stuff, and Frank Miller just kind of went crazy, and it's the bad kind of crazy, and his quality of his stuff is just it's lousy as far as writing anyway.
Yeah, too bad.
It is too bad because he was at one time one of the greatest stars in comics. Mm-hmm. So, but hey, let's talk about something light and fluffy. It's Archie Giant Series Magazine, number 201. It's a Betty and Veronica spectacular.
Oh,
and the lead story...
A Glib Woman's Lib.
Yes. Written by Frank Doyle, penciled by Dan DiCarlo, and inked by Rudy Lapik.
Mm-hmm.
So...
It's wonderful seeing the styles of dress and all that. I don't recognize... I do remember blue jeans with a bunch of patches on them.
Sure. This is the 70s, so
Mm-hmm. It is 72.
Yeah. And, woman's lib is definitely in full swing at this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so...
A story torn from today's headlines in Archie.
Yeah, they try to. And sometimes they do okay, sometimes they don't.
So, Veronica Lodge is on a soapbox, literally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally. Talking about woman's lib. And Reggie laughs at her. And he is a big mocker of the thing. One of the most repelling...
Reggie Mantle is one of the the greatest villains in comics.
Mm-hmm. But he's Archie's buddy, which is odd.
Well, they're frenemies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, Arch and Jug are best friends. But Reggie, they do hang out with him a lot, even though he's a jerk and always trying to turn things to his own advantage or show other people up.
Yeah. I wouldn't mess with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the...
Oh, that's Big Ethel.
Big Ethel. And there's a...
She's the girl who's always chasing after Jughead.
Oh, okay. And there's a short, fat girl I've never seen before.
Well, you may never see her again. It's just random girls.
Right.
Not everyone is a recurring character.
Yeah. But it's odd because all the women, or all the girls in this comic book, except for those two, are beautiful.
Right.
And look very similar except for the hairstyle.
Right. Well, I mean, Archie definitely has a house style.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So Reggie says women's lib is crap because men are smarter and stronger. So Veronica says, "I'll bet you I can fix that." So she goes to Reggie's car and takes out the distributor wires and flattens the tires and says, "I'll fix this." And it says, "Well," and Reggie's kind of concerned. So
right.
Veronica just starts crying, and the guy comes by and says, "Hey, what's the matter, doll?" And she says, "Oh, my car is messed up," so the guy fixes it.
So she uses her feminine wiles to get her way. Which, by the way, this is not what women's lib is about.
Yeah.
Waka waka waka. That's the whole irony of the thing.
I wonder what Camille Paglia would say.
If I knew who that was.
She's an interesting feminist. So,
okay.
Hated by feminists. So it's kind of cool. But yeah. That's interesting. So I'm not going to go into that. Hey, let's see. Lots of pinups. I guess is that what they do in Betty and Veronica's?
Well, they'll do pinups, or they'll have some one-pagers, which we'll just kind of skim over because it's not really There's not much substance to this stuff.
Right.
At all.
No.
Let alone one-pagers. So,
yeah.
But I think the next story is called Dune Buggy. And it's...
yeah. I finally get the pun.
Oh, good. So...
it took me a while.
No credit on the writer, but penciled by Dan DiCarlo and inked again by Rudy Lapik. Or Lapik.
Okay, so we have the two girls, they're sunbathing, and Reggie and Archie are pretending to be prospectors lost in the desert. Hey, we need
But they're all just hanging out at the beach, yeah.
Right. And the girls are amused. So they go get them some water, and it's salt water.
Which is gross.
Yeah.
Especially straight from the ocean. Blech.
Yeah. Okay. But that's about it. And then they see... so the boys say, hey, there's some girls. I bet they can give us some. But that makes Betty and Veronica give them a bunch of... give them Coke and water, whatever. So, and that's it.
Yeah.
They are insanely jealous.
Right.
That's kind of what they are.
Yeah.
And as a teeny bikini.
In this pinup?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, they got Dear Betty and Veronica. I love the colors, but...
Yeah, but the letter pages, who cares, really? Like, man, that gripping issue of Betty and Veronica we read last month was...
Yeah.
It's not like letters in standard comics. It's kind of like... Yeah.
Right.
So, let's see. We've got...
Pinup. I think about 4 pinups.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. So, here we go. So, our next actual story is called Needles and Pins. And written by Dick Malmgren, and penciled by Dan DiCarlo and inked by Rudy Lapik. And I don't remember this story.
Okay. All right. Veronica visits Betty. Betty likes Laurel and Hardy, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
At least she has a poster up.
Sure.
Betty is sewing, and she's making dresses, but Veronica says, well, that's stupid. And
why make a dress when you can just buy it?
Yeah. So she turns on the TV, and she sees this wonderful dress made in Europe by the world's most she designers, Lady Maria Grinchi. So Veronica goes home and says, hey, I'm going to buy that. And Betty says, I'm going to make that. So Veronica calls over, let's see.
We have a fast forward to that's the time the dress arrives from in the mail.
Oh, and the dress goes by, there's a gendarme with a submachine gun racing to a jet plane to send the dress from France to Riverdale. So.
That's crazy. So time goes by, and by the way, it's an ugly dress. These huge lapels.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
So she comes in, she's showing off her dress, and then Betty rolls in with that same dress she made.
Yeah. And Archie and Reg are like reacting.
Oh, there's gonna be a fight here. So
yeah. So
yeah.
So, one more story we've got in this issue. It's called Water Everywhere. Written by Frank Doyle, penciled by Dan DiCarlo, and inked by Rudy Lapik.
All right. They have a pool. They drain the pool.
Who is they? Veronica's
father, I guess.
Her husband, her father, Mr. Lodge, yeah. Because they're rich.
Yeah. So they're trying to fill up the pool with a bunch of hoses. And Veronica says, hey, I got an idea. And Archie says, shoot. So she sprays him with a hose, and they have a big war with hoses. And it's kind of funny. Yeah. And, of course, Mr. Lodge gets wet.
Yeah, the hoses end up spraying into the house. And he's not too amused.
Yeah, and he does the classic bit of, here's a hose, and he looks at it, and Archie has a hose
pinched up in a kink, and then he unkinks it.
Yeah.
And Mr. Lodge is all wet. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. So he turns off the water, and then he gets all the hoses, and he's going to make a water cannon.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't know who the butler is.
It's Mr. Lodge's butler.
Yeah. I hope so.
Right.
I hate to have a random butler walking around.
Right.
So he turns it back on, and Mr. Lodge gets wet because he put the hoses into his living room.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all the kids laugh.
Yeah, it's an excuse to get Betty and Veronica in bathing suits.
Yeah.
Which I agree with.
Okay.
All right. And we'll end this day as only peasants sew.